All right, we are up and rolling. Good evening, everybody. It's Bobby Harvey once again live on the station platform in downtown Ottumwa, Iowa, waiting for the westbound Amtrak California Zephyr to pull into town. Now, tonight the train is running about an hour late. They were in Mount Pleasant the last time I checked. They're probably west of there by now. But as you can tell, it is about an hour later than we normally start these streams because the train itself is running about an hour later than normal. They left Chicago right out of the gate about 49 minutes late. So that just kind of snowballed into running about an hour late. So they haven't lost much more time, but they haven't made up much time either. So we're down here a little later than we normally are, but things are looking to be fairly decent as far as rail action goes. The westbound freight train just cleared the station, probably about, I'd like to say maybe about 10 minutes before I got down here. I heard it on the scanner. They cleared up their warrant, the westbound train. And crossing the Jefferson Street Viaduct, I looked down to the signals at the east crossover, just east of the station, the new crossover that's signaled. And there is an eastbound train lined up to go east on Main 2, green signal. So hopefully, I would presume that train would go through before Amtrak because it's been green for a while. Been down here probably a good 10, 15 minutes already, and the signal's still green and there's still no train, so we'll have that to look forward to, as well as Amtrak and whatever else we can see on this later evening here in the end. We're approaching the end of October, believe it or not. Have a lot of things to talk about tonight during the stream. Hopefully a lot of you can tune in tonight. This is, I'm pretty sure, the third consecutive Friday night that I've done live streams, and I've determined that Fridays are actually a pretty good day for these streams. It's a great way to kick off the weekend. Saturday was also a good day to do a stream, but Fridays are even better because then after the stream, you got the whole weekend ahead of you. So it's kind of a nice way to kick it off. Speaking of kickoff, I'm sure, I think there's a lot of high school football still going on, so a lot of you might actually be at the football field right now, watching a game maybe. And actually, come to think of it, I think the Ottumwa Bulldogs are actually home tonight because a few minutes ago, right before I started the stream, I heard a loud boom. It sounded like a firework, but actually what that is a giant like cannon that they fire whenever the Bulldogs score a touchdown. So they must be playing football here in town, and they must have scored a touchdown in tonight's game. I don't know who they're playing, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I didn't even think about that until I started talking about it just now, but that had to have been the cannon at Schaefer Stadium, which is pretty much right where you see the train station. It's pretty much straight east of there. Like I said, we are waiting on Amtrak, which will be coming on the track closest to us, and then there's also a eastbound train lined up on Main 2 with a green signal. So I suspect it will go through first, but we'll have to see. Westbound signals are still all red right now, so they don't have Amtrak lined up yet. So it might be a ways out still. But yes, some of you might be at the football field right now watching a game. There are also some other YouTubers that do live streams tonight as well. So you might be watching some of them too. So hopefully we get a decent turnout when Amtrak gets close. Didn't really give you guys much of an advance warning tonight either. I think I'm going to start in the future giving out like a kind of advance notice maybe at the beginning or the middle of the day. And then more details about the stream later on as the trains get closer, so you guys have time to prepare. But yeah, I think I will continue to do these Friday night live streams unless my schedule prohibits me from doing so. Now, speaking of that, before I even get going talking about what's happened in the past week, next week, of course, on Friday is Halloween. And there'll be a lot of stuff going on Halloween, so I can guarantee you that I will not be doing a live stream on Friday next week. There is also a lot of things going on that weekend as well. So I might, if I do a live stream next week, it might be a Thursday night live stream, but just have to see about that. If I end up doing one, I might skip next weekend because it's going to be a very booked weekend in the Harvey household. So starting out with Halloween, obviously a lot of stuff going on Halloween night, right about when I would be doing a stream, so I won't be doing one on Friday next week. And Saturday and Sunday are also going to be booked as well. Wife and I will actually be going out of town, so I might do a Thursday night live stream next week if I do one at all. So just be on the lookout for that. Anyways, we got some of you rolling in now. We have just started the stream. Now, normally, Amtrak would already have come and gone by now. But for those of you tuning in, Amtrak has not yet arrived, so you haven't missed anything. In fact, we haven't gotten any trains yet. But we might get a freight train first, and we might get Amtrak first. We will see. So since we have, I think I can see the glint of a headlight in the west. So we're going to go ahead and pan the camera and get ready for this train. Yep, there it is. Got a lot of you coming in the chat right now. We will give some shout outs to you guys here soon. We've got our eastbound freight train, which will be our first train tonight. This stream is pretty much so we can see Amtrak, but I always like seeing other trains as well. So for those of you just hopping in, you haven't missed anything. This is our first train of the night. Amtrak is still on their way. They're running about an hour late. So that's why I started things late tonight. This is our first train approaching, an eastbound BNSF freight. I don't know what it is. We'll have to see. It's always kind of fun to have no idea what's coming and get surprised, and whatever it might be. It might be something normal, might be something a little abnormal. Speaking of that, I saw something kind of interesting yesterday that I will talk to you guys about. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get ready for this train, our first train of the night, eastbound BNSF freight, approaching now. As they haven't hit Gateway Drive yet. Those are the McLean Street crossing signals you see down there. There we go. Gateway Drive signals are coming down now. Now, since it's nighttime, it's after dark, you can really see those gates dropping now with the lights on the gate itself. So again, we have just started things out tonight. We're going to get this train and Amtrak, whatever else is coming this evening. Our live stream here in Ottumwa. Eastbound loaded coal train going through the station now on Main 2. And just clearing the station now, Eastbound BNSF loaded coal train running on Main 2 here in Ottumwa. So we're about 13 minutes in to the stream tonight. That is our first train. We are still waiting on the Zephyr. They are running pretty late tonight, approaching an hour late. I'm assuming they are somewhere in between Mount Pleasant and here now, probably getting close to Fairfield. And the signals to the west are still all red. So the dispatcher hasn't gotten Amtrak lined yet, but I suspect that'll be changing here soon, hopefully, as we wait down here at the station. And obviously, we got some really good light down here now with the refurbished platforms. So even at night, you can get really good pictures of the trains. And obviously, even if Amtrak is on time now, it's pretty much going to be in darkness from now all the way through early March. So if I continue doing these streams, which I have every intention of doing so through the winter, it's going to be all nocturnal rail fanning, all after dark, which is something pretty neat. I mean, not very many rail fans do that, and it's probably because you don't really have many good opportunities to get night pictures. You have limited places to get them, because you don't always have opportunities like this where the track is nicely lit for pictures. You have to be very strategic where you get pictures. Now, with the advent of all this, LED street lamps and things like that, there are actually quite a few places here in Ottumwa that you can get pictures now that you couldn't have gotten pictures very good in the past because of the LED street lamps. They are so bright that their light will actually reflect back onto the tracks, and you can get decent pictures along the line. Obviously, you can get great pictures here because the platform is very well lit. Gateway Drive has some good street lamps nearby. You can get some decent pictures there. Green Street has a couple of lamps nearby. And east of the station, you can get decent pictures at Market Street. There's a lot of lights around there, and along the short River Drive, in between Market Street and Green Street. Mark is here with a super chat. Thanks, Mark. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could tune in. Really appreciate it. We've got some people on the platform now, so I am guessing that the train is getting close. Looks like they got the baggage card out here, so. And speaking of that, the signal for Main 1 westbound moves has now changed to a clear, so Amtrak is getting close. Alrighty. I'd say we have a little better outcome tonight. Getting in position, waiting for the train to pull in. Must have a decent amount of baggage coming off today. We'll wait and see. Zoom in down there and see. We've got the conductor and engineer, relief conductor and engineer walking up the platform now. And the guy that pushed the baggage cart in is a kind of a station attendant. Train's got to be getting close now. In fact, you can hear the crossing gates coming down already. So gotta make sure we got the camera leveled here, the phone leveled, I guess I should say. Well, the action is pretty good tonight so far. Got that freight train, and now we've got Amtrak rolling in about an hour late. But as they say, better late than never. And they could still make up this time if they don't dwell too long in some of the bigger terminals out west. But here they come, the westbound Amtrak California Zephyr, rolling into Ottumwa. We have arrived. Got some color on the train tonight. Phase 4 Heritage Unit 164's trailing unit. Of course, we all wish it was leading, but hey, I'll take it. I knew that the train would roll in and spot right in front of us, so we got some decent views of it here. And back here, the passengers, they got some baggage out of the baggage car. A few people milling about down there. Yep, as Mark commented, leader, engine 199, and the second unit, of course, our great-looking Phase 4 Heritage Unit 164. Now, this is actually the second Heritage locomotive painted in Phase 4. Now, the first one was Amtrak 184, which was repainted for a very brief time after its time as Phase 4 Heritage engine in Phase 5, and now it is painted in Phase 7, and it has actually been converted to a non-powered control unit, a cab car, and I believe it is numbered 9700 now. 164 is the one and only Phase 4 Heritage Unit in operation on Amtrak right now. And it is probably the most pure Heritage Unit that Amtrak has, because there's no special anniversary decals, there's none of that. It's just Phase 4. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the most attractive looking paint schemes that the Genesis locomotives wore. And it really was short-lived. They really didn't last very long on the Genesis engines. Very brief. It really fits the engines well. You can see down there that the train has a clear signal at the Diamond Crossing with CPKC. And let's take a look at the passengers again real quick here. Quite a few people on the platform. always have people that walk the length of the train when they're in here. As Mark mentioned, this is a fresh air stop, so the passengers have plenty of time while the train's getting recrewed. The passengers have plenty of time to get out and stretch their legs and walk up and down the platform. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it down there, and you can. Right down the platform, kind of right in there, the signal for eastbound trains on Main 2 has gone up to an approach aspect. So there's another eastbound freight train coming. Amtrak will probably be out of the station before it gets here, so it'll be a pretty busy night. So for those of you just starting out your weekend, welcome to the stream. We have Amtrak in the station now here in Ottumwa. The California Zephyr, running about an hour late. Now the train has gone back down to its pre-summer consist. They dropped one of the coaches. And that's probably going to be the normal consist until holiday season really ramps up. Now, I'll tell you what, it is not very often that you get to be this close to these big locomotives. And it is great to stand this close and listen to these things idle. Now, these longer station stops, you actually have plenty of time to just admire all the different parts and all the things that make up these big engines. Looks like the rear marker lights are lit on 164. Someone must have forgotten to turn them off in Chicago. And as I said earlier, this paint scheme is just great. I mean, it's one of the best paint schemes that was ever on a Genesis engine. It just really fits them well. But I do like the new Phase 7. Phase 7 looks really good. But this is classic Amtrak right here. All right, whistle off. The warning whistle. Now, all the passengers that are still on the platform, time to get on, and it looks like the platform is clear, except for the conductors, so they're going to get out of here pretty quick. Off they go. Engine 199 on the front, of course 164 trailing. Here we go with the consist as they pull out. Viewliner 2 baggage car. Transition sleeper, Superliner 2, and the sleeping cars. They're both Superliner 1s, it looks like. Running brake test as they leave. Superliner 1 diner, that's actually the very first one ever built, 38,000. Superliner 1 lounge, pretty empty right now. And the coaches, we have a standard coach, and in the end, a coach baggage. Running brake test complete. There they go. And with that, and as you just heard, the conductor and engineer going over their next track warrant to be from Halpin, I think, to milepost 359 or somewhere in there. So it's a lot of track. Over 70 miles of track on Main 1. Halpin is on the west side of Albia, which is where the CTC signaling ends, and then it's track warrant control automatic block signals. You need a track warrant to go further west. So they already have that warrant, so they're going to stay on Main 1 for the foreseeable future as they continue west from Ottumwa. Next stop is Osceola in about an hour. Then after that is Creston, and then Omaha, followed by Lincoln, which is the next crew change point, and all points west through Nebraska at night. Early morning, they'll be getting into Fort Morgan, Colorado, and then Denver and the Rocky Mountains and on. I've ridden the Zephyr several times west, and it is one of, I'm kind of biased because I've seen the Zephyr probably more than any other Amtrak train in the country, but the California Zephyr is probably the best Amtrak train if you want the best variety and scenery and just the whole experience of seeing the country. I mean, the Zephyr is one of, if not the best, Amtrak long-distance train to ride. And obviously, it's very convenient for me when I want to take the train. You just get on here at Ottumwa. You can go either to Chicago to the east, or you can go all the way to the San Francisco area to the west. And they will be there 2 days from now. Sunday afternoon, this train that we just saw will be in California. And it's a great trip. So if anybody is looking to ride an Amtrak long-distance train, ride the Zephyr. It is one of the best. Now, another one which I have yet to ride, but I've heard a lot of good things about, and obviously it is another one of the great Amtrak long-distance trains, is the Coast Starlight. Coast Starlight is another very scenic train, runs up along the Pacific Ocean and then up through Oregon and Washington State. Then, of course, the Southwest Chief. I've ridden the Southwest Chief a couple of times. once all the way to Los Angeles, another time from Flagstaff back to Fort Madison, a couple of times from Fort Madison to Chicago. That is another great Amtrak train. And I've made a documentary, for those of you that haven't seen it, of the Southwest Chief. Did it in 2016 from footage I took in 2014 and 2015. And it's pretty much a summary of the entire trip from Chicago to Los Angeles. And I'm going to do another one on the Zephyr. I actually have all the footage. So those of you that have seen the Southwest Chief video, I'm going to be making another one just like it for the California Zephyr, the entire trip from Chicago to Emeryville and San Francisco. So that's going to be a very big undertaking, a very extensive project, but it's going to be, it's pretty much the video that I've waited my whole life to do. So I'm very excited to do it. Probably won't get it done until, you know, next year sometime, because there's other things I want to do now for the rest of the year. Some other smaller videos, obviously getting the Old Threshers video out, and a few other things maybe. But yeah, the California Zephyr video is going to be coming soon. Probably next year. So we have a clear signal for another eastbound train, so we are going to keep things rolling tonight. We've only been on the air for about 35 minutes, and we've already seen an eastbound coal train, as well as Amtrak has come and gone. So for those of you that have just joined in and missed Amtrak, just go ahead and back up the stream about 20 minutes. You'll be able to see everything. And we're going to keep things rolling live with more trains here in Ottumwa, at least one more. And we'll see if anything else gets lined up to the west, maybe. And the rest of the time we're going to be down here. And while we wait, I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the live chat. Been busy getting you guys caught up to what's going on, and I haven't really joined in the chat yet. Nate was the first one here. James from Hamilton, Ohio. Fiery Flame is here. Peter Studios is here. A lot of greetings there. Hello. Annette is here. Great. Thanks a lot is here. And Mark was here. There are quite a few people here tonight, so thank you guys for joining in. So last week, I don't know if any of you guys remember. Oh, look at there. Looky there. As I interrupt myself. The signals for westbound trains on Main 1 has gone to an approach, which means the dispatcher has another train lined up to head west. So we're going to get at least 2 more trains tonight. Not bad. Things seem to be rolling pretty smoothly tonight. And, you know, it's kind of strange because I think there's actually quite a few trains that go through at night as opposed to the daytime, for whatever reason. You know, the freight trains, they might leave their terminals at a specific time, but they don't really run on an exact schedule. So it seems kind of strange that you would see consistently more trains at certain times of day when they're freight trains, but sometimes you do. And other trains like the local, things like that, they're a little more predictable. They usually come through at the same time every day, but yeah. So again, we've got a westbound lined up now. They've got an approach, and the eastbound signals are clear for another eastbound train. So we're going to go ahead and wait for those 2 trains to go by. Keep the stream rolling tonight. As I was saying before the signal change interrupted me, last weekend, I don't know if you guys remember me saying that me and the wife were going to go to Midwest Haunted Rails down in Mount Pleasant. Well, we did. on Saturday night. It was a really fun time. We got to ride the train twice and the trolley. It was a really, really neat night, and it actually was kind of bad weather for a little while. It actually thunderstormed for a brief amount of time, and I got some pretty good pictures because I just took my iPhone that I'm filming on now. I didn't take my camera or anything like that. I just took my iPhone and got some video clips here and there. I actually got quite a bit, so I'm going to try and put it up on YouTube before Halloween, so you guys can see everything that happened. And you can see now the westbound signal is blinking yellow. That means approach medium. The next signal down the line is approach, and then the next one is red. So Amtrak has cleared 2 whole blocks ahead of this next movement. Most likely the signal will go to clear before it gets here. In case it doesn't, that just shows the next train that starts slowing down because they're about ready to hit some more restrictive signals. I didn't know if that signal could still flash approach medium, but apparently it can, as they updated the signals when they put in that crossover west of here about 3 miles to the west. But yes, my wife and I went to Haunted Rails last weekend, and it was a really good time, so I'm going to probably upload a short little video of everything that we saw and the trains. Got some pretty good pictures of Engine 6 pulling a train into the North Station in the rain. It was pretty cool. So, and perfect weather, perfect spooky weather for a Halloween-themed train. And speaking of that, this is the last weekend of Midwest Haunted Rails, and in fact, it's going on right now in Mount Pleasant until 10 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow they're going until 10:30. It starts at 6 and goes until 10:30, and that is it. So if you guys haven't checked out Midwest Haunted Rails in Mount Pleasant, if you're near Mount Pleasant now, just go. I mean, you've got time. And you also have tomorrow night as well, because it is the last night. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out, because it is great. It is a lot of fun. There's also an actual full-fledged haunted house on the grounds if you like really getting scared. It's called the Thrasher's House of Terror. That is on the grounds as well, so after you ride the train and trolleys, you can go check that out. I think they're open until midnight. And there's also, I don't know, I think they might still do the haunted house through Halloween. I think there's some more nights they do that. But the whole event, Midwest Haunted Rails, will wrap up tomorrow. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you've got one more chance tomorrow, and as well as the rest of tonight. They're running until 10 tonight, and then tomorrow, 6 to 10:30 tomorrow night. Yeah, we had a good time over there last Saturday, and got some pretty good video, got some really enjoyable time. And it wasn't really that cold. It was decent weather. It was only, I don't even think it was very windy. And the rain that came down, you would think that on a cold night, that rain would have made things really cold, but it was not a cold night. It was pretty decent. So it seemed like right after that, it started getting chilly out here and cold. But now that we're into the end of October, the nights are getting a lot cooler. Our westbound train is approaching now. Man, they're coming fast. We'll get back to that conversation in a moment. Don't know what this train is. Kind of surprised. I thought the eastbound would come in first. This train is approaching right on the heels of Amtrak, just a few blocks away. But they won't catch up to Amtrak because freight trains always go a lot slower. So here's our next train, train number 3, a westbound BNSF movement on Main 1. It's going to come right by us. Here we go. How about that? A pair of Norfolk Southern diesels on an oil train going west. Very nice. Actually seen quite a few of these trains lately. Saw one in one of the previous streams that I've done down here, and I actually saw another one going east a couple days ago. I think I can see the headlights of the eastbound train. This thing better clear fast. Here comes the end. Well, we've had quite a decent amount of action here in the past 45 minutes that we've been running this stream. Here comes our eastbound train right after the westbound. This is train number 4, which is nice. You do not normally see this much action in such a quick amount of time down here. That was the crew of this eastbound telling the westbound train that everything looked good on their end. They always kind of check each other as they go by. And here we go. Our last, most likely this will be our final train of the stream because I usually keep these around an hour. Let's see what this one is. Another loaded coal train going east. So as I said earlier, this is train number 4 for tonight. First train was an eastbound BNSF coal train. Then Amtrak's California Zephyr. Then a westbound oil train a few moments ago, and then this train, another eastbound coal train. It's been a pretty eventful night here in Ottumwa. Got 2 engines on the back. Kind of a nice mix there. At the end, we had an AC 4400 CW and an SD70 ACE. ES44AC, I think an SD70AC on the front as well, so not bad. Well, it's been a pretty eventful night here in Ottumwa. I really haven't had a whole lot of time to talk about stuff because we had so many trains coming through. Now, I was literally, it's funny, great thanks a lot, just mentioned the purple that you see in the background. I was just about ready to bring that up because I just noticed it there in the picture too. The color that they're actually trying to project onto the Jefferson Street Viaduct, which is what that is. It's the bridge that goes over the Des Moines River. Probably the most graceful, fancy-looking bridge. It's pretty old too, the Jefferson Street Viaduct. And they have these lights that project different colors onto the bridge at night. The normal color is blue, but they can change the colors to pretty much anything in the rainbow to, based on different times of year or different events. And I think some people can actually pay to rent the colors, if you will, for certain events. I don't know how much it costs to do that, but for like July 4th, it's red, white, and blue. One part of the bridge is red, and the middle is white, and the other end's blue. Right now, the color they're trying to project is pink. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so they're trying to, it's kind of a dark pink. It looks more pink in real life than it does in this video right now. It does look like it's purple. And actually, the city of Ottumwa, that actually owns the train station now, it's now owned by the city. City Hall is actually temporarily in the top of the depot right now, and they have some new accent lights on the front of the station facing Bowling Park, which is where the old steam engine is. You can kind of see it there, CB&Q 3001. And the accent lights are also pink right now. And they have similar lights on the high school that are also pink. It's really neat to see at night. Sometimes they actually are kind of flashing kind of in an animated pattern at night too on the high school. So it's pretty neat. And I suppose, and those are new, so I suppose during Christmas time and the holidays, there'll be nice red and green colors for Christmas. I'm assuming, I'm hoping. That would look really neat. Well, the westbound signals are now dark, so there are no more westbound trains in the foreseeable future. It would not surprise me if the same thing happens to the eastbound signals here too. So we're going to go back to the chat really quick and kind of wrap things up for this evening. We're almost to an hour. It's been a pretty good night. Let's see, where did I stop at? Yep, John is here. Mentions Radar O'Reilly, which of course, that's kind of one of Ottumwa's claims to fame. The character Radar O'Reilly from the TV series MASH was from Ottumwa. And I'm pretty sure that the character is actually based on an actual person that served in the war. that was from Ottumwa. Pretty sure MASH was during the Korean War, wasn't it? Or Vietnam? I think it was the Korean War. I've actually not seen very much of MASH, believe it or not. I probably should brush up on that, but very, very famous, very popular TV series from back in the day. And every time, I mean, people mention Radar O'Reilly because, you know, everybody from around the country knows that if you know MASH, you know that Radar was from Ottumwa. So they see Ottumwa, that's automatically what they think of. So before I forget, a couple days ago, actually I think it was just yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I saw the strangest thing come through Ottumwa. It was a westbound loaded coal train. Now, you do not normally see westbound trains loaded with coal because they're coming from Wyoming, and they'd be going from west to east because they're loaded in Wyoming and they go east to a bunch of different power plants. So it's very strange to see a westbound full coal train. And I got on Facebook, one of the train groups that I'm members of, and I asked them, you know, what is the deal? Does anybody know what the deal is? And someone commented right away, and he said that apparently 2 coal trains were coupled together. They were doubled up to make one long train. And they do that a lot nowadays to reduce, so they don't have to run as many crews. And due to all the precision scheduled railroading tactics and all that stuff. So they coupled 2 coal trains together into one long train. And I guess BNSF got them mixed up. They were going towards the wrong places when they split them up. And so I guess they had to take them back to wherever they were supposed to go. And so the train I saw yesterday was one of those trains. And it actually had some Norfolk Southern engines on the front of it, too. Yeah, it was strange because I was like, well, those cars are loaded and the train's going west. Well, why is that? Well, they must be going back to wherever, whatever track they missed to get to whatever power plant they were serving. Must have been west of here, and they got routed the wrong way. Well, mistakes happen. That's a pretty costly mistake, I would think. It's a lot of money in one of those trains. And we can only hope that the power plant they were going to had some coal on reserve so they didn't run out. Sure they do. Probably was just, you know, a couple day delay, but still, that's pretty expensive on the railroad, and really anything. So, yep, we went to Haunted Rails last weekend. Really, we're just getting ready for Halloween at this point, and then, believe it or not, after Halloween, we'll be gearing up for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just crazy how fast the year has gone. But this is a good time of year. A very exciting time of year for me. Christmas time is my favorite time of year. Second favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, and my third favorite holiday is Halloween. So it's like, it's a big gear up to, you know, bigger and better holidays. You know, Halloween's great, very fun, spooky, you know, fun holiday. And then Thanksgiving, all the food and family. And then, of course, Christmas, all of the Christmas festivities and things. So it's a great time of year. October, November, December are a great, great time of year. Go back up the chat here really quick before we sign off for the night. Mark says, Bobby is one of the best who catches Amtrak in Ottumwa, in my humble opinion. Well, thank you, Mark. I do my best, and I really enjoy it. And crazily, I mean, I probably I've done more live streams this year than actual videoing with my video camera. That's mainly because I've been very busy at home doing other things. It's easier to just come down here and do a live stream as opposed to working on, you know, large video projects. But I still have, you know, things that I'm doing with my regular video camera. And obviously, I'm not going to give that up. It's just nice to still put out some fresh new content for you guys while I work on some other larger video projects in the background. Now, the Fiery Flame says he might be going to see the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Holiday Train, CPKC Holiday Train, and so am I. And I don't know when it's going to come through. I assume it's going to be the night before, like it always is when they come into Ottumwa. It'll be the night before. The event is going to be on November 26th, which is the day before Thanksgiving. I might not be able to get the time off from work, but I might be able to take an early lunch hour or something and maybe slide down and see the train and go back to work. Pretty busy at where I work, so I don't really feel good taking the day before Thanksgiving off, but might be able to adjust my lunch hour to accommodate seeing the train. But the night before, I'll definitely be able to see it because they usually bring it in the night before, and it's usually very late. We're talking like anywhere between 10 o'clock to midnight, which is perfect for the holiday train because it comes in and all the lights are on, and it's just spectacular. I've gotten the train many years with my normal video camera. This year, I think I'm thinking of doing a live stream just like this of the holiday train arriving. There's only so many different shots I can get of the train in Ottumwa in the dark. And I've already gotten a lot of those vantage points on video, my normal video camera, so I thought, well, maybe this year I'll do a live stream of the train coming in. Because I'm pretty sure that they're going to be coming through here. CPKC is going to be running the holiday train through here every year now because it hooks up to the rest of the system down in the Kansas City Southern area. And actually, we were talking about this in a previous stream. The Holiday Express, I don't know if some of you remember the Kansas City Southern Holiday Express. That train, which featured a prop steam locomotive, it wasn't a real steam engine, and a few holiday-themed cars that the Kansas City Southern put on before the merger. Well, it sounds like that train has actually been retired, and it's just going to be the former Canadian Pacific holiday trains doing all of the holiday train stuff from now on CPKC. So they've retired the Holiday Express Kansas City Southern train. I just saw that a couple days ago on Facebook, which is unfortunate because I was talking about it the other day and hoped that they would still be running that train for those people down there. But it sounds like the CPKC holiday train is going to go all the way down towards Mexico now and take care of all of the holiday train stuff down there in lieu of the old Holiday Express, which is no longer running. So. All right, well, A-Train says there is a westbound passing agency now. Well, signals are not lit. That's still a ways out, so I don't know if we'll wait for that train or not. It's getting pretty late. But we'll finish going through the live chat and see where we are then. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing for the holiday train, and that'll probably be late Tuesday night, November 25th. They'll probably be bringing it through here. So I'm thinking of doing that, doing a live stream of the holiday train this year instead of taking a picture of it coming in with my video camera. Because again, I've already gotten several different vantage points of that train coming into Ottumwa, and there's only so many different shots you can get at night. So this time I might do a live stream. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I just have to stay tuned for that. Okay, going back through the chat here. Saw that oil train with the Norfolk Southern engines. Yeah. Yep. And A-Train confirms that MASH, we were talking about Radar O'Reilly, took place during the Korea War. and it aired during the Vietnam War. So it was a lot very relevant stuff for people to watch during the long Vietnam War in the 70s and 60s. I think the show was actually, I don't know if it was in the 60s and 70s, probably was overlapping in the late 60s and early 70s. Fiery Flame asks, have you ever heard of James Coffey? Is he the guy that sang the, is he the guy that sang the Lots and Lots of Trains theme song from those old videotapes? I feel like that's right. If so, then yes, I have heard of him. It sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure that that's who that is. Yep. He just confirms that. Yep, I've heard of him. I actually have those tapes. I was like 7 years old when I saw the advertisements for those tapes on TV. And I have the VHS tapes of volume 1 and 2 of Lots and Lots of Trains, and I watched them over and over again. He actually has a lot of different songs throughout those videos, and they're pretty good. So he also sang John Deere songs and train songs and I Love Toy Trains. Well, sounds like he got around. I've only seen a couple of the I Love Toy Trains videos, but that was a pretty extensive series. As far as I know, they're still making them. Mark says that coal trains come through Washington on the CPKC on their way to the Louisa generating station near Muscatine. And they also go to Fruitland, I think. I think they still go to Fruitland, a Mid-American power plant there. And those trains get interchanged to CPKC from BNSF here in Ottumwa. Get off the BNSF, go into the yard, and they turn the train engines around, and then they send it north on the CPKC. A-Train also says that about the power plants running out of coal. He says a certain amount they're required to keep on hand, 30-day supply or a 3-month supply. Wow, that's a lot of coal. I wonder how long it takes to burn through a train load of coal for a generating station. That'd be an interesting question. I mean, how much electricity is that? I would think it'd be quite a bit. Oh, it's the same plant. Okay. The Louisa generating station in Muscatine, same plant. Oh. And for a while I think there were two, Muscatine Power and Water and then the Mid-American plant in Fruitland, but maybe there's only one. Yeah, Fruitland is just south of Muscatine. Yep. That's right. The only time I really ever go up in that area is to the train show in Davenport, which I go to that every year now for the past few years. It's a great train show. I mean, it's the best one in Iowa. And the largest, as far as I know. And speaking of that, there's actually a little train show that's going to be happening in Washington, Iowa, tomorrow and Sunday. And I'm actually going to try and get up there probably tomorrow morning. Check things out. I think I brought it up in a couple streams ago. It's run by the same guy who I buy a lot of trains off of at Old Threshers. And I'm going to try and go to that show tomorrow and check it out. Maybe buy some things. It's been a few years since I've been to it, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. So with that, I know there's another train coming, but the westbound signals haven't even lit up yet. So I think we're probably going to get ready to wind things down for the night. Now, Mark just asks, where in Washington is that going to be? I think it's the KC Hall, if I'm not mistaken, which is right near the railroad in Washington. It's 9 to 3 tomorrow and Sunday. Might be a little shorter hours on Sunday, but I know tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's 9 to 3. Train show in Washington. And I don't think there's going to be any operating layouts or anything like that. It's just pretty much a giant train sale with, you know, a lot of different gauges and books and things like that. Pretty much the what he has at Old Threshers multiplied by like 10 or 15 or 20. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of different things. At least it was last time I was there a few years ago. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. Maybe you'll have some neat stuff that might end up buying and showing off here on the channel eventually, because I'm going to get my O-scale train layout a little more presentable, so I can show it off on the channel here eventually, along with a bunch of other things. My O-gauge train layout is actually going very well. Been running it for several months now, and it's pretty nice. Yep, A-Train's giving out the address for the KC Hall for the train show tomorrow and Sunday in Washington. So if anybody in the area, check that out. I will be there sometime tomorrow for maybe an hour or so. All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. I know that A-Train said there was another train coming, but the signals at the CPKC have not lit up yet, so it's going to be a ways out most likely. So we're probably not going to wait around for it. We're just going to go ahead and wrap things up for now. But again, well, thank you everybody for joining in tonight. And as far as next week goes, again, next week on Friday will be Halloween, so I won't be doing a stream on that day, and the weekend is pretty booked, so I won't be doing a stream Saturday or Sunday either. If I do one next week, it will probably be on Thursday, so be on the lookout for that. And that's just because I'm not going to be able to do one on Friday. I won't normally do streams on Thursday, but we'll see. Stay tuned. If not, we'll see you in a couple weeks. But yeah, it's something on the CPKC. But anyways, with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up for this evening. It's been a very eventful evening here in Ottumwa. We've seen 4 trains in just a little over an hour's time, which is pretty good, very good for this line. Along with Amtrak, we've seen 2 BNSF coal trains and a westbound BNSF oil train with Norfolk Southern diesels. It's a pretty good night here in Ottumwa. Now, my next video that I'm probably going to put up, along with these live streams, my next regular video upload is probably going to be Midwest Haunted Rails, what I got at Midwest Haunted Rails. Just a short video. And then after that, might be doing some other shorter videos, along with, of course, my hour-long Old Threshers video, which I probably will get done next month or at the latest by the end of the year. So still working on some of the preliminary work on that video, but I will get it done by the end of the year most likely, so be on the lookout for that as well, along with all these future live streams. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for this evening. Thanks everybody for watching. It's been a fun night. We will check up next week. I'll let you guys know if I'm doing a stream or not next week, and either way, we will see you either next week or the week after that with more exciting train action down here in Ottumwa, along with all the other videos that I plan on posting, normal uploads on the channel. So again, this is Bobby Harvey here in Ottumwa. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. So long.